Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Happy New Year. This will be the last stream of 2023. We're going to talk about, well, the next stock I'm going to be buying. We're for sure going to go over that. I'm going to give a brief breakdown of the markets because that will go into the next one. But anyway, first and foremost, if you're watching this, you're probably not. It's probably already too late. It probably already is 2024, but anybody catching this as a 2023 stream, be careful. Let's not make any stupid decisions, you know? Anyway, get an Uber. Speaking of which, Uber's actually doing all right. Wow, I wouldn't buy Uber stock, but I would get an Uber tonight. Cody says, "Why are you live today?" It's been a while. I've been just next to death lately, so if I sound a little funny, that's why. I just couldn't help it. Figure I go live and say hey to everybody. At least when my internet works. Let's see. As far as the dollar, I can see a little bit of a pop here. As far as the Russell, we already got a little bit of a head start down. Not entirely bearish until it hits this alert right here. That's when I will I'll go even further. I am short the Russell futures right now. I will add on, sorry, as of that alert. Market is closed tomorrow. Yes, and my normal Sunday live stream will be actually tomorrow. We'll do the stock market expected moves. We'll break it all down because every day's got some, letters, some news to go with it, like PPI, CPI, anyway, all the fun stuff that I think we're about to break away from, which should be nice. But we'll talk about, recessions. All right. As far as the NASDAQ goes, that's also my alert. If it hits that to maybe short that thing a little bit. As far as the S&P, you guys have seen these candles. I drew these candles back here. All I'm saying is, how hilarious, what a coincidence is it going to be if we just follow those exact things. So let's rock and roll. Now, I do think this, and as far as the stock that I'm buying, it is not going to be right away. It is, hopefully we catch this dip. If we can follow this, where am I at? Yeah, there we go. This dip, then the things I want to buy will be a lot cheaper. And I plan on laying into a bunch. Right now, you guys know my biggest positions are Tesla and, well, first of all, Meta and Tesla. The ones I'm really excited to really add into will be Amazon and Google. Those are my lowest. And then also Nvidia, more Meta. Tesla, if it dips, I want to wait and see. Now let's just bring up Tesla, because a lot of people love to talk about this, like, oh, it's breaking out, and like, depends on who you follow, I guess. It's breaking out. It did get above this zone right here for a little bit. Just got above the expected move, came right back down, ultimately stayed inside its range. Ignore these lines. I do have to update them. We will do that tomorrow. This alert right here was my alert to go short. I did not take a short position in it. It did not get it. My thought process on that was if it did jump up there, it'd be a little overbought. I think Tesla deliveries are coming out. I'm going to have another video about that as well. But I'm thinking that they're going to miss deliveries. Regardless of how much they deliver, they're going to miss deliveries kind of thing. So I was going to take a short position for that. This video is not a Tesla hate video. I know that the thumbnail title is Tesla Killer. You guys probably already know the stock right now. I had to dig myself a little bit further. Right now in the growth account, buying Palantir. Now, if you guys are following that, if you're on the Patreon following that, then I'm putting in $150 every Friday. And once we're at 100 shares, I'm going to start selling calls against that. I'm going to use that income with the deposit to actually buy Rivian next. And I think Rivian is going to outperform Tesla in 2024. Percentage-wise, I think it will. Tesla Killer, no. I do think it's silly when people call it that. First of all, and the reason why it's in the thumbnail and title is exactly this. People love to call things the next Tesla, the Tesla Killer. We've heard that about 1 billion times, and it's about as awesome as listening to Gordon Johnson speak about how Tesla should be $3 and everything else. Still no crystal ball. Maybe next year. It is in the mail, Alex. You will get it next year, I promise. Let's see. Rivian? Yeah, it is Rivian. Now looking at it, I was thinking, because I kept hearing a bunch of like YouTube hype, a bunch of people talking about it. Maybe Wall Street Bets is getting a hold of this. Personally, right now, I do think it is going to reject and come down, and I think that would work out perfect. If this thing could just trend down, kind of pull one of these, again, retail will be wrong per usual, and we can really just, let me grab the ray right here. Let me just go, we're on the daily. Put my points of contact right here. The closer we can get to that, the better. So if we could just hang out there, let's make that a little bit thicker, as a matter of fact. Closer we can get to that, the better. I do like the options premium on this. Sorry if I sound weird, guys. Hang on, I had TOS open, but now it's asking me to log back in. Give me 1 second. Promises. He says, I won. Oh, it's not funny. I won my big money fantasy football league. So buy Rivian? Okay. This is not financial advice. And I'm going to give some popular reasons. I guess we'll talk about the whys and the why nots. I was trying to look them up online, see everyone else's excuses. And a lot of people had some very funny reasons. So I don't know how. I don't know. We'll just talk about some reasons. The popular generic ones. Give this one out. But for a, where are we at? $23 ticker, January 5th. This is just for the next week. Going at the money, you would still collect 80, 85 bucks. You know, personally, if I was in this right now, I probably would be selling at the money. Just so if it pulls back, I'd be fine. If it shoots up, so be it. So we're expecting a $1.87, right? So we'll call that 26 bucks for I just said we're at 23. So we'll still collect around 20 bucks. You can go a little bit higher if you want to go on the deltas. I like the delta somewhere right in here, usually just shy of 20. So I'd be flirting with this depending on if I had a reason to bump it up. But premium wise, overall, you do still pretty well on this. So hopefully we can catch that pullback. Hopefully, again, this pulls back as we finish up buying 100 shares of Palantir. And then I want to have these two. I did the same thing in the growth account last year. And as soon as we got 100 shares of something, we sold contracts against it. We used that premium plus the deposit to buy more, and it builds a snowball. So it's very specific which ones I do buy. Last year, it was a lot of Ford and Intel and Palantir. Ford's just up there, and I do think Ford could come back down a little bit more. So right now, I think Rivian's catching the attention for me. Is a Black Swan event coming? I was going to text the Rockefellers and maybe some Kennedys and see if they could fill me in, but they didn't respond. I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on that one. Maybe I could charge my crystal ball. Fun fact about Black Swan events is you just don't see them coming, and every time is different. And I do think. And I've already talked about this in quite a bit. I do think whatever excuse we have, it's coming up. If it happens in Q1. Maybe Q1. Maybe closer to March, into February, March. It'd be cool if we could just follow this track down. I do think this will be the dip buy. Whether it's the crash, Black Swan event. I don't think it'll be like the Rona. If it doesn't happen Q1 of next year, then just talk to me when the red candles show up. Other than that, I just don't care about all the fear-mongering. It is an election year, which is why I chose Q1. That all went into it, because this got brought up as well. And I'm hoping this happens and Rivian can come down and we can load up on Rivian for cheap and not have too much out there, because we really got to worry about efficiency, cost of money, just in general. How much do we have out there? How much are we making off it? I want to gain off Rivian's growth, should there be some, and then the options premium from it as well. But during an election year, they like to... whether you guys want to believe it or not, I feel like there's a lot of under-the-table deals of make things look good for this person, and I believe they will try. So that's why I think, and you guys heard them, they think we're going to lower rates in March. Again, feds just don't lower rates because everything's just peachy. So I do think whatever excuse comes is probably right around the corner. We're about to see it. I think just the human, there's the real world, then there's the stock market world. I do think the real world is about to feel it as far as inflation and everything goes. Everyone, their savings is spent, their credit cards are maxed. It's about time we hit that brick wall. And maybe that's the excuse, and things just get rough. The people are what breaks, not the banks like people really thought. And then that's when we'll lower rates and we can start kicking this thing back up. So in the meantime, I'm hoping that's kind of where my cards are right now. As far as that stands, investment accounts, those are staying the same. I'm not going to try to stop those out and get in. I don't think Tesla's going to do very well, but still, just because I know this is called a Tesla killer, that position's going to stay right where it's at. If it does dip, I am buying more. I jumped the gun and bought my last 20 shares of Palantir on Friday to make 100. We'll sell calls next week. Nice. I think a few are doing that, so I could help. All right, so Rivian, I think this could play out perfect. If we could just reject, right now this is bull flag or reversal. I know there's a lot of retail pumping this. And honestly, guys, this last 2 weeks at the end of the year, people are excited. Like, the banks are closed. Well, the trading banks, right? They're getting a head start to the New Year's. They haven't seen their trade desk in weeks. Weeks with an S because it's just 2 weeks, not months. But I think we come back bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Tomorrow the stock market is closed. I think Tuesday we dust the cobwebs off and we get to work. And I'm hoping they come in and just get wrecked. Although that being said, this is a strong momentum up. That technically right now is still a bull pennant. So if you were thinking more of a short-term trade, personally I would just be on the lookout for this right here. Anytime you're watching something like this break out, when I'm looking at this, I'm usually looking at the base. So if I were to go short, my stop would be above this zone. Any other time, right above the wicks that this base makes. If I'm going long, I'd put my stop right here, 22.45. If that breaks, I think it does come down. We'll probably have a quick little hiccup at this zone. Maybe it's a higher low right here. So if you're looking to catch that knife, as a maybe retail trade, momentum trade, that might be a decent spot to catch that knife. They might go for the gap fill, run any stops right there. So my stop would be if I bought it anywhere in here. Let me go long trade right here. If I were to just set an alert, a buy order right here, I would put my stop right below this gap fill. 1945 would be my stop. That's what that trade would look like. In fact, I'll even take that trade in my main account. So when that alert goes off, that's what I'll do. My stop will still be right here. That way, if it blasts through, I'm not bag holding this and making YouTube videos about all the reasons why you should buy. But that being said, I even jotted them down. Like, why are people buying this thing? Excuse me. Any plans on Intel? Intel will be the third one. As of now, Intel is the third one. Yeah, and I'm hoping by the time we have Palantir and Rivian, Intel gets pretty quick. I need Intel to pull back. Chips are on fire. I think 2024 is a year AI actually gets recognized, which is, guys, I'm trying to do a whole video about Rivian. I didn't know how many videos I wanted to make or just one kind of live stream. This channel is going to start having some AI stuff on there. I might start dual casting to what is Brad's channel right now, On the Chaos. It might already be a different name. We already have that in the works. We'll just both be on that channel. This one will still be my normal content, but also I'm going to start doing AI stuff. Stuff that I want to talk about. And I think we start to see things take off. And I don't know if chips see the biggest pullback. I'm just kind of fingers crossed that they do. But anyway, just a heads up. It's not going to be just entirely stock related. I want to show off AI stuff like the tools, the drawing, the chats, the video making, just stuff that I find cool because I think there's just the nerds that know about it. And then there's everybody else. The nerds are a small bubble. And if you talk to any other nerd about AI, they're like, yeah, they're geeking out on it. They know exactly what's coming. They know the ramifications. They know how exponential growth works. And then you talk to just the average person, and it feels like you're just talking to a wall. And I think a lot of people just haven't seen it yet. And I think 2024 is the year that does change. So I want to kind of show some of that off as well. I'll try to do it on a scheduled time, just so you know, like, hey, if that's not you, that's 100% cool. Check the other channel out. It'll have all the same videos, strictly stock stuff. But if you're curious about it, hopefully you stick around. But anyway, yes, Intel is plans. There's a lot of plans. I'm gonna have to do like 20 videos just in the first 2 weeks just to get everybody caught up on everything. Okay, so a lot of people do consider Rivian a growth stock. Now, remember, Rivian did have some partnerships with Ford and Amazon. Now, Ford and Amazon have already written them off. I want to say both of them have. Now, they've written their debt off, so they've already wrote it off as a loss. But they do still have that partnership, so it's still in their interest that they do grow. So I think those are very strategic. It wasn't smart, or no, it wasn't smart. It was actually pretty smart. We've seen a lot of EV companies go, which is why, I mean, I've made fun of Rivian. I've made fun of all of them because why aren't you just buying Tesla? I still think to this day, like I said back in 2017, Ford and Tesla will be the top 2 EV manufacturers. It's just now the fact that Rivian is still here. It's made it over some pretty decent humps. So there might be some pretty solid growth to it. I do think this is an automotive manufacturer. This is not anything like Tesla where the energy business, the bots, the AI, all that. Now, one of the reasons people like to talk about Rivian is its innovation. It's focus on innovation and the research and development. And that sounds a lot like a Kathy Woods speech. She thinks Roku's innovating. Okay, I don't know how much Rivian's innovating. They do have some cool proprietary stuff that even I think is neat, but I don't know if I would put that in an innovative stock. It's in a disruption right now with EVs, and the more people that buy EVs, the more you're just going to see that's just where the market's going. There are still people out there that think, oh, I'll drive a gas car forever. You're not going to catch me in a battery RC car, and those people are probably just blind, trying to speak it into existence, or have no idea what they're talking about. But I think, again, all that does change in 2024. Pretty soon it will be, are you just, stupid or special? Why are you buying a gas car? Because the price, the specs, everything will just be better in a battery. And Rivian and Tesla, Ford, that's all I got. I think they're gonna sell. They're gonna sell a few more. As far as analyst expectations, we're kind of right where we're at. I saw a whole bunch of $22 to $30, so technically we're already there. But you guys know how I feel about analysts. Find me one that's accurate. Find me one that's made more than one call right. You guys always hear about. You guys ever hear about an analyst called this? It makes the article, the headlines. You guys ever notice it's a different analyst every time? It's because he got his oh, you're the one that nailed it. You got it this time. Good job. And you never hear from him again. So I don't put too much weight on there, but that is a popular reason. As a trader, guys, if you guys maybe are new to this channel, I have an investment account. Income does come from trading. So I really care about buyers and sellers. I don't really care why they're buying. I don't. I have an income bias, not a directional bias. I'm here to make money. That's it. Biker Brian says, I see a lot of Rivian and Lucid vehicles in my town, but lots of Teslas. In my town, but is there not supposed to be in there? You just see a little bit of all of them. I haven't seen any Lucids. I do see Rivians. I'm seeing more of them now. But I gotta say, I actually can't stand. I think that backups the comments and the conversation piece of, hey, it's growing, and maybe that's advertisement. But I wouldn't go out buying, even though I like Polestar, I wouldn't just go out and buy Polestar because you see one driving by on the road. How much Ferrari stock do you own? Do you guys own a Ferrari? Because have you ever seen one of those on the road? Doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's like going to Starbucks, buying it because there's a long line. In the end, you're literally one person and you're seeing one other one. Think about that sample size. For anybody, now Biker Brian's been following me for a while, so he knows this isn't at him. For anybody else buying things off of reasons like that, it's incredibly just ignorant. Just don't do that. Your sample size is quite literally next to nothing. The arguments against it. Oh, and there is a few. This is why I can see this one just catching hate in the comments. There are some Rivian fanboys. There's just a lot of Tesla. And now I'm in the Tesla cult. I'm kind of like the black sheep. Again, income bias, not directional bias. Now, the current profitability, as far as competition in the EV market, yeah, I wouldn't even really consider Rivian competition at all yet. The cool thing about Rivian is that they're still here. That in itself is a feat to talk about. I think that's cool for Rivian. Shout out to Workhorse, Mullen. God, how many others were there? Anyway, they're gone. Let's talk about valuation. Look at all these. I know this is Tesla. It's the wrong one, but just these numbers that are in the black, doing good. A lot of debt. We watched that number dwindle. Green. Free cash flow. Whole lot of nothing. Money. Gross profit just keeps growing. Just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. They just more money they know what to do with. Revenue, same thing. Just keeps going. You know, there's a whole lot of green boxes. Trajectory. Everything's looking good. Now, I do have to pull this up because, if anything, you're going to hear me talk about Rivian and why I'm buying it. But I want to show off why maybe you shouldn't. You'll see even Tesla here. So, excuse me, this is something I'm working on the back end. Shout out to Mike Hudson for helping putting this together. I feel guilty even saying because I'm just kind of giving him 2 cents on some things, and we're changing things. But anyway, Tesla scored a 57 on the investment. Now I gave it an AI. There's an AI multiplier that I'm giving stocks to keep everything as robot as possible. No emotions. This is the numbers. That's how it comes up with. That's that. But AI is not going anywhere. It's not a fad. Now here's every reason why you should buy Rivian. Whole lot of no money, no money, no money. Sucks. The overall score, 15. Not hot. It got some 2022 hype like the rest of the world. At one point, it made it to, $102. And then reality kicked in, and a lot of people got their teeth kicked in with their account because they emotionally bought at the top. There is something really cool I want to talk about over here. That's just how much money they have. Should they want to wipe the slate clean? This is the part that I do like, is right now that they do have money. They can pay off all their debt. They're doing well there. They're not in a bad spot. That's why I don't think they're going anywhere. And not going anywhere, making it past everything they have with, I don't want to call it growth. The automotive industry, still not hot. But if we start lowering rates and we start kind of driving traffic that way, I think they just stand to grow with it. There doesn't need to be competition. Okay, just imagine Tesla. If we were to put this as far as like the ocean goes, Tesla is a pitcher, an actual pitcher, just scooped up some water. Rivian right now is like one of those red Solo cups. They're not competition. They have plenty to draw from, and so I do think they could stand to grow quite a bit. So Javier says, I live in Silicon Valley. I see a lot of EV cars, but Tesla still is on top. I don't think that's going anywhere. And again, to be clear, I know it says Tesla killer. That's because I'm just playing the YouTube game. Tesla is the iPhone, and then everything else is the Android. Like Android's got just a whole mess of things. Everything else. There is the iPod, and then everything else. Bitcoin, everything else. It's, again, not even a struggle for second place. It's just, can I exist in this space? And I do think Rivian will do that. Where you will see the most growth, though, is buying stuff like this. What you guys will notice, you guys probably have noticed in your entire lives. Let's just pull up the S&Ps. There's no lines here. As far as the S&P goes, you've watched people sell down here because it's going to the floor. The hardest time to buy stocks is when it looks like this, right? We are just full send, melting down. Your 401k is now a 201k. It is evaporating, okay? No one wants to buy when really that's what you should be. You should be just shoveling it all in. Now, what will everyone say? Oh my gosh, right here. If we were to just if we even got down to here, I'd back the truck up. What are they doing right here? They are buying. This is the hardest time to sell because everyone is just buying. Again, hardest time to buy down here. Easy, hardest time to sell up here. And then they play this game. And I think that's kind of where we're going to see Rivian. And any pushback, I think, is going to be more on that side, which is why I just kind of went through all of that. I do think Rivian's on the cheaper side. You won't capture any growth if you're buying when it looks like outside of Tesla. If these numbers all look like this, how much growth is still out there? Look how hard it is to see some of that growth in Tesla. This is why I think Rivian will outperform Tesla, because Tesla already has that established name. There's not that surprise factor. There's not the growing. There's none of that. With Rivian, this is the risky. I haven't said one good thing about it almost, other than what an analyst said something. I don't know. Man, someone talked about first move advantage. I think they were also talking about Rivian making a minivan. I don't think that guy knew what he was talking about. That's why I don't even want to say his name. I wouldn't call this a first mover advantage. I would say they still exist. I'm trying to find reasons why. I had it written over, but I just wanted to go over that. Rivian has cute SUVs. Yeah, I guess. There's probably a whole argument to, did I cover? Oh my gosh, am I covering my face? Hang on. Let me go over the numbers part. Which way do I need to be? Is this it? There we go. Forgot I'm backwards. These were the numbers I was going over here. As far as, there we go. Total assets, total liabilities. Let me get off screen here. So cash and cash equivalent, total debt, the enterprise value, all of that is good and what's putting them in a decent spot. Where I think the growth in share price will come is buying it at a time where it looks like this. A lot of red. Again, at the beginning of this YouTube channel, what did you guys... Is even Tesla here? Yeah, Tesla wasn't doing anything. Here's Tesla's free cash flow. Whole lot of nothing. Here I am talking about how it's going to be the next big one. Not many people were buying it right there. Where was everybody buying Tesla? When it got stupid. Now, who made the most money off of Tesla? Me, not Steven Mark Ryan. Just kidding. 100% just kidding. The people that were in before the insane run up. You could try to jump on the train after it's moving. Right? You might get your arms ripped off. You might buy the peak. You could try to time it right as it starts moving. A lot of people think they can do that. Not a bad way to do it. Or you can front run that risk. The downside is you might jump on the tracks. You might not actually jump on the train. And that, I can promise you, isn't largely profitable, which is why you want to really focus on if you can't manage your risk, there's no point in you being in something like Rivian at all. That's going to screw up everything. So the reasons why not to buy, your valuation probably a little bit high right now. As far as competition goes, people talk about competition and they're not going to compete with Tesla. I don't really care about EV competition right now. I think that's silly. When again, using the ocean reference, we're comparing a pitcher to a solo cup in an ocean, right? Lake Michigan, a pond out back. It doesn't matter. There is still too much space in market share to worry about, to even worry about competition just yet. Everybody can make an EV and still there's no competition yet. Profitability timeline was a big one because, yes, while they do have cash on hand, how long? I mean, an investor will recognize a losing deal and ditch it. And at that point, you always run the risk of being that if you're just not there yet, who's got the piggy bank and when does it run out? Which is, again, execution risk. And then the last one people are talking about is just the macro environment. And again, interest rate sensitive, people just being tight on their money, recessions. I do think it's going to put a damper on this, which hopefully shows up in just some share price so we can get it. Hopefully everything I just talked about that last little bit turns into this, and Rivian can turn into coming all the way down here to this trend line. That would be sweet. If we could buy, let's push it out to February. Yeah, if we can get Rivian around $17, I think we'll be good. If we can catch Rivian at 17 and any one of those analysts is right, to $22, to 30, we capture the growth, we sell calls against it. And by we, I mean just I. And when I talk about my plays, you guys will just understand, this isn't a call out service. But I will screenshot and post everything in that as far as the plays that I do. So again, not a call out service, but some people will agree. So if we could just do that, I think we capture. What do I say? Burn the candle at both ends on this one, on the profitability train. I don't know. That's kind of where I stand. Whether you call it a growth stock or not, that's going to be up to your own risk, your own personal opinion. No matter what YouTuber's talking about it, and I would caution everybody that is watching other videos about Rivian. This has been a lot of just pump and dump, people bag holding, trying to talk it into existence so they can sell at break even kind of stuff. It's pretty hard to YouTube Rivian stock and find anybody worth their salt talking about it, from what I found. So I would be cautious. Again, do your own due diligence, and I love to mock people that say that because they say it all the time. But in this case, I really would. Watching another YouTuber is not due diligence. Look into this. I've just showed you all red numbers, so be careful with buying something like this. All right. Hit the like button. My eyes are blurry. I'm starting to see more Rivian R1s than the Ford Lightning. I see about the same. Kia EVs everywhere. I have seen a lot of Kia EVs, and I'm annoyed at how well Kias have done with their design. Because it's a Kia. You know what I'm talking about. Don't lie. If you drive a Kia, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Why do they look so good? It's a Kia. It annoys me. But the Telluride, I could get down with the Telluride. I don't know why. But anyway, that is going to be my next, what do we call it? Growth sticker? Yeah, sticker. Might as well be. Speaking of stickers, shout out to Nikola. They didn't even make a sticker of their car. They just made a Photoshop drawing. Man, all Nikola had to do was thinking about it. I offered to buy a poster from Nikola so they could actually have some revenue. What were those things that everyone was buying? The images people were paying for. What are those called? Gosh, I had this question the other day. What are the pictures people were buying? The monkey and all that. Just wasting their money? NFTs, thank you. Yes. Why didn't Nikola just make an NFT to top things off? Oh, that'd have been great. Anyway, Rivian OnlyFans, yeah, get some revenue in there. You know, this thing isn't a scam. We're making money. We're not going to sell an EV, but we got, EV NFTs. We got posters. Trevor Milton, what did he get, 4 years? Could have knocked that down to 4 months of good behavior had he had some, some income in there. As far as this goes, here's what I'm buying. And I've mocked this plenty. So I don't want to come off as contradictive or anything. I've made fun of Rivian a lot. On this last pump up right here, I sold $25 in the money calls, and they expired worthless. It was great. It's one of the few times I've ever actually done that. But it has held this lower range for a while now. I kind of think the bottom is in. So any trouble we do see sends that thing a little bit lower, and that's where I am going to be a buyer. So I'm going to wrap this one up here. Tomorrow I'll go live 1 hour after futures open. We're going to talk about the expected moves. We're going to talk about the news coming up, all the catalysts for the week. So if you haven't seen the Sunday Stock Talk, that's what we do on Sunday. It's in prep for the next day, but since the market's closed tomorrow we'll be doing the prep work for Tuesday. I think we come back in with a little excitement. So make sure you're subscribed. Hit that thumbs up. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, the bell. I know it's a lot of work. It's a lot for me to even say it. Just do it. But let me know right now. This is my last thing. At 20,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away the YouTube ad revenue every month. Until then, I'm going to start giving away the YouTube ad revenue. It's just going to be a challenge. If this video hits 2,000 views, it'll be just random things. So yeah, if this video gets 2,000 views in the month of January, then I'll give away, December's? Whatever the payment is in January. I don't know the pay scale. YouTube pays me on the 21st. Whatever it is, I'll give it away. So make sure you share this. Get it to 2,000 views. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.